Hi everyone. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, good morning. So, welcome to the Mercury Virtual after 4 days. Yes, there's a long break of the 4 days due to the Diwali break. In the Indian festival, there is a Diwali. Then there's a weekend, Saturday, Sunday. So, after 4 days, we are coming out. So let's start with the session. In the last class, that is in the Friday's class, we are finished with Appendix A and the Appendix B. What is Appendix B? What is Appendix A? That is used to gather for the accessing the database for that is used for gathering the databases. So Appendix C, that is a logic model and the performance measure, so that provides an easy starting point for the selection of the data, for the selection of the meaningful and the realistic measure of the performances. What is the measure of performance that is done today? Now let's see what are the various logic models and the performance measures. That is how we can measure or how we can do the logic modeling, logic model and performance measure. That is come today. So logic models provides an easy starting point for the selection of the data, for the combining of the data of the meaningful and the realistic measure of the performance. What is a realistic, what is a meaningful measure of the performances, and how the overall project looks like or work must be understood in order to identify what needs to be measured. What is the main need that is to be measured? What is the main understanding of the project that is to be identified? And the logic models should also show that how the project operates, how the project operate, how it will well done. So how the project operate, that is the logic model that shows how the project operates or outcomes are achieved. Then performance measures or the indicators relate to how well a project performs, that is particularly with regard to the delivery of the services, that is the outputs, and the achievement of the results, whether the achievement of the result that is gathered together or the outcome. So performance measure, that is the indicators that relates how the project performs, how it is done, and particularly that is used with the delivery of the services, particularly it is used with the output, with the achievement of the results, that is outcome, and the indicator that are used to represent the target achieved or specified at each level of the top model. Whatever the top model that is specified, whatever the representation that is satisfied with the target, so it is specified at each level of the top model, and they are measurable characteristics of how well the targets are achieved and how well the project is performing. That is, it is also one of the target, it is also one of the achievement, it is also one of the target, we can say it is also one of the measurement that is achieved, that how the targets are achieved and how well the project is performing. And the logic models flesh out projects and also allows the planners to select what should be measured directly from the model. So what we are measured, so we are going to tell us from the planners, that is what should be measured directly from the model, what is to be done and how it is to be done. And using the logic model also allows the project planners to select meaningful measures of performances, that is what are the various measures of performances that is carried out, how it will build. So first is select the meaningful measures of the performance, and then second one is select the performance measures from all levels of input, outcomes, and the input, output, and the outcome. So first is select the meaningful measure of the performances, then second is select the performance measures from all level of the input, output, and outcomes. Then next is recognize how individual projects can contribute to the large scale goals or the program goal. What is the program goal? How the large scale goals can contribute, so how the individual project can contribute to the large scale. That means how multiple groups of the people, multiple projects are combined together to form a large scale group or the goal. So in this we have studied about what is the logic model, how it is performed, and why we are using the performance measures, how it is built, and how it is built together. That is a logic model. So it's a starting point for the selection of the meaningful and realistic measure of the performance. It also shows how well it works, how it is going to understand everything. So it is understand in order to identify what's need to be measured. And the logic models also shows how the project operates, in the sense how the project works well in the time. And the performance measures also relate to how well a project performed, particularly with regard to the delivery of the services, outcomes, achievement of the result, that is also outcome. And indicators are the, we can say, the targets, we can say the milestone at each level of the top model, and they are also measurable characteristics of how well the targets are achieved and how well the project is performing. So how it is achieved, how well it is performing out, how the target will be achieved. And the logic models flesh out the projects and that allows the planners to select what should be measured directly from the model. And using the logic model also allows the project planners to, what are the various ways by which it is also allowed for the project planners. So using the logic model also allows the project planners to select meaningful measures of the performance. That is, what is a meaningful measure of performances. Then select the performance measures from all levels of input, output, and outcomes, and recognize how individual project can contribute to the large scale project. That is how we can combine multiple projects that will give to the large outcome. Now, next is common types of performance measure. Common types in the sense how we can perform or how we are going to build the performance measure, or what are the various common types of performance measures. That is the indicators, we can say. So what are the various indicators? What are the various common types of performance measures? That is the indicators. So first is the outcome. So SEE conditions. First is the outcome. What is the main outcome of this one? That is the SEE conditions. That shows the indices of the water supply, water quality, public satisfaction, and the economic status. Then next is the practices. So one is the SEE conditions, one is the practices, that is the adoption of the practices, use of the recommendations. Then next is the CASA. CASA includes the test scores, CASA includes the self-assessment, and the CASA includes the scale rating. Then reactions, that is participant rating of the project activities, level of the satisfaction with the subject matter, that is also a CASA model, that is also outcome. Now let's see what are the various types of performance measures, that is what are the various indicators that is used. First is the outcomes. First outcome is the SEE conditions, that includes the water quality, public satisfaction, economic status. Then next is the practices, that is adoption of the practices, use of the recommendation. How we are going to use the practices, what are the various recommendations, that is adoption of the practices and the use of the recommendation. The next one is a CASA, that includes a test score, that includes the self-assessment, that includes the scale ratings. Then reactions, so participant rating of the project activities, level of the satisfaction with the subject matters, that is the reactions. So first is the outcomes, that includes the SEE conditions, that includes the practices, that includes the CASA, that includes the reactions. These are the four outcomes that is installed, that is used as an indicator, that is used as a performance measure. These are the measure that is used to perform, that is used to measure the performance. What is the main performance that is carried out, how it is built, and what are the various types by which we can achieve the outcomes. First is the SEE condition, then practices, then CASA, then reactions. After this one outcome, there is the outputs, that includes a participation in the sense that includes attendance, a volunteer leadership in the project activities. What is the volunteer leadership in the project activities, how we are going to give the attendance of this one. And last is engagement. So attendance, volunteer leadership in the project activities, and engagement. Then what are the various activities that is performed? First is frequency, then duration, then type of delivery, and content of activities. So what are the various activities? First is the frequency, then duration, then type of delivery, and the content of activities. That is also the output. So one is the outcomes, that is the SEE conditions, then practices, then CASA, then reactions, then outputs includes the participation activities. And the inputs is the resources, whatever the resources that we are using, that includes the amount of the staff time, so amount of the staff that is required, then expenditures and the material relative to the project activities. What are the various expenditure, that is means what are the various purchase, that is what are the various costs bearing activities. Then material, what are the various material that is used, that is relative to the project activities. So first indicator is the outcome. What is the outcome? What is the, we can see the output, or we can see the, what is the result. So outcomes may be in the form of the SW conditions, practices, CASA, and the reactions, and the output in the form of the participation, in the form of the activities. And the input may be the resources, that is the amount of time speed, amount of the time staff required, that is used for the expenditure, that is used for the project activities. Next is logic models as a tool for the program development and the evaluation. Till now we have studied what are the various expenditure, what are the various indicators. Next is what are the various logic models, what are the various models that is used as a tool for the program development and the evaluation. How it is built, when it is built. So the logic model also provides a visual representation of the program and its evaluation, and that model illustrates the relationship among the various program components. What are the various program components relationship that is used? That includes the initial situation. Example, degraded coastal areas with a declining number of the species. Identify the priorities. What are the various priorities? That is identify or restoring the coastal areas. Then inputs, outputs, audience, that is the participants or that is used in the activities. Then short term immediate, medium term, that is 2 to 3 years, long term 4 to 10 years, outcome impact. So what are the various outcome impact? What are the various categories that is used with the outcome impact? And the logic model can also help guide program planning, implementation, and the evaluation. And it can also serve as a tool for clarifying the program elements, identifying the evaluation questions and the indicators, and what are the various conducting ongoing self-evaluation techniques, what are the various categories by which we can evaluate, what are the various logic model that is used for defining the evaluation, that is used for defining the project development and the evaluation. So what is the logic model that is used, that provides a visual representation of the program, its evaluation? What is the logic model that illustrates a relationship, that illustrates the various program activities, components, initial situation, and then identify the programs, identify the priorities, outputs, inputs to accomplish the program goal, as well as the audiences that participates in those activities that is carried out with the short term, with the long term integration. What are the various ways by which we can include the species, by which we can include the logic model as a tool, or by which we can use, what are the various logic model that is used as a tool for the program development and the evaluation. This model provides a visual representation, visual in the sense a graphical representation, pictorial representation of the program, and how it evaluates, how it works, how it evaluates. That is a visual representation, that is a pictorial representation of the program. And the logic model also illustrates the relationship among the various program components. What are the various components in the program component? What are the various initial situations? What are the identified priorities? Coastal area, output, input, as well as the audiences. Whatever the audiences that is included in this one, in the activities in the program goal. And the short term, medium term output impact, outcome impact in the sense, what are the various categories by which we can impact the output, by which we can judge the output, what are the various output that is used as a tool for clarifying the program components, identifying the evaluation questions and indicators, and also conducting the ongoing self-evaluation methods. Ongoing self-evaluation in the sense how we can evaluate by themselves or by ourselves, that is the ongoing self-evaluation method. So it can serve as a tool for clarifying this one, for clarifying the elements. 42. The next is the logic model evaluation question and the indicators. First is the inputs, then outputs, then outcome impacts. So input is what is the input? That is either the staff, that is either the money, time, material, that is the input. Now let's see what are the various inputs, what are the various outputs, what are the various outcome that is impact on this one, that makes the impact on this activity, that is the logic model. So let's see what are the various inputs. So first input is the staff, money, time, material, partners, and the research. So first material that is used, first input that is used over here is that is a staircase that is used with the priorities. So first is the staff, then there is a money that is also required, time also required, material also required, partners also required, and research is also required. So these are the various activities that is required by the input, that is required by the activities that is carried out with the actual activity that is carried out with the usual activity. So first input is the staff, then money, then time, material, partners, research. What are the output? Then workshops, publications, then events, products, then teachers, youth, community members. So what are the various prices? What are the various outputs that is acquired by this one? So staff, money, time, material, partners, research, then workshop. These are the various outputs. So workshop part is publication, services, events, products. So whatever the product, whatever the outcome that is desired, so that outcome will be desired with the publication, that outcome will be desired by the workshop, services, events, products. Then next is the what are the various outcomes in the participants. What are the various outcomes? That includes a teacher, youth, community members. So whatever the community members, whatever the youth, teacher, services that is provided by the output designs. Then next is what are the various outcome impact. What is the outcome impact on this one, on the basis of the short term, on the basis of the medium term, on the basis of the long term. In the short term, there is an increased knowledge, increased level of the skills. So knowledge will be increased, skills will be, or the level of the knowledge will be increased, level of the skills will be increased in case of the short term, we can say the loss when we give the input as a staff, money, time, material, partners, research. Then next is a medium term. So there's a increased knowledge and skills used in the appropriate setting. Whatever the appropriate setting, whatever the increased knowledge, whatever the skills that is used in the appropriate settings. That is also a medium term impact, medium term outcome impact. So there is a medium term impact, that is a increased knowledge and skills used in appropriate settings. Then long term, what is the long term impact? So goal is achieved or reached and sustained. So whatever goal that is reached and sustained with the data that is achieved with the goal that is achieved with the reached or that is attained with the goal. That is the long term. Then next is one of the example that is used over here. So there is a facilitator for the workshop. There is the field equipment workshop material and the supplies. So whatever the suppliers, whatever the equipment that is required for this one that is used with the workshop material and the supplies. Then output, what is the output activity? So workshop focusing on the coastal restoration. Whatever the coastal restoration, whatever the coastal includes, whatever the workshop that is focused on the coastal restoration that is generated with the output that is generated with the coastal restoration. Then next output is for the participant, there is the community members living in the coastal area. Whatever the community members that live in the coastal area, that do the coastal area, that is going beyond the coastal area. So whatever the coastal area, whatever the members, whatever the community member that is living in the coastal areas. Now, what are the various short-term impact that is available for this one? What are the various ways by which we can use the short-term impact? So there is the community member that is going to use with the participant. So whatever the community members, whatever the participant that is used in the workshop that understand what are the basics of the coastal restoration, what are the various ways by which we can use the coastal restoration. That means what are the various impacts of the coastal restoration that is gathered together, that is used together for the community member, that is gathered together for the community resources. Then what is the medium term outcome? So medium term outcome is ongoing participation in restoration activities by the community member. Whatever the community members activities, whatever the online participation by the restoration means, whatever the criteria means, whatever the tool that is used that increase the knowledge for this one. So in the case of the facilitator for the workshop field equipment, workshop based material and the supply. So what is the medium term outcome? So there is an ongoing participation in restoration activities by community members. So whatever the restoration activities, whatever the member that is achieved over here, that is achieved with the restoration activity, that is achieved with the basic activities of the restoration. And what is the long-term impact? So what is the long-term impact over here is species diversity in the restored area increase. So whatever the species that is included in the restoration area that achieve the target, that makes the target achievable and the target full. So whatever the material, whatever the workshop equipment, whatever the field equipment jobs, whatever the tool that we are using, that is achieved by the targeting the target, by targeting the rules. So that is the spaces, diversity in the restored area increase. So whatever the area, whatever the species, whatever the diversity that is increased in the area, that is included in the area. So input is facilitator for the workshop, field equipment workshop, material and the supplies. Then activities for the outcome is workshop focusing on the coastal restoration, community members living in the coastal area. Then community members who participate in the workshop. So whosoever the participant that works in the over here, that understand the basics of the coastal areas restoration, then ongoing participation in the restoration activities by community members, whatever the community members, whatever the data that is acquired for the community members. Then species diversity in the restored area increase. So whatever the criteria, whatever the species that is included in the diversity area, that is also increased over here. Now, these are the evaluation questions. What are the various evaluation questions? So first of all, these are the various evaluation questions. There are various indicator that shows how to evaluate, how to work with this one, or what are the various logic model that is used behind this. What are the various ways by which we can evaluate the questions? What are the various ways by which we can make the indicators? What are the various indicators that makes the logic model evaluate, that makes the logic model currently used? So input, output, and outcome effects. These are the three methods that is used over here. So till now, any doubts anyone in these outputs, in these inputs, these outcome impacts? So we are going to, or I'm going to finish over here only. That is a part of the appendices C. That is what is the appendix model, what is the logic model that is used, but what are the various ways by which we can access the data, by which we can access the common types of performance measures, that is the indicators. That may includes the outcome, that may includes the output, that may includes the input. So one is the outcome, that is the result. One is the output, that is also a result in the form of the findings, in the form of the gatherings. One is the input, what we are going to give the input to the compute, to the data. What is the input? So input includes the resources, input includes the participation activities, input includes the outcome. Then it is also, or logic model is also used as a tool for the program development and the evaluation. That is also used as the evaluation criteria, evaluation methods, inputs, output, and the outcome impacts. That includes the staff members, time, material, partners, research, workshop publication, services, events, products, then teacher, youth, community members. Whatever the community member, whatever the data that is using up, that community member will be saying, will be using up the data, will be using up the services. So teachers, youth, community member, that is also one of the evaluation criteria. So till now, anyone, any doubts regarding this, regarding anything that you want to ask, any clarification that you want from this one, anything? So no one have a doubt, no one have something that is more interesting to hear about. What are the various outcome, what are the various impacts? All right. So in the next class, we are going to take with the next topic, that is what are the various evaluation questions, what we are going to do, what we are going to, what do you want to know? So what are the various evaluation questions that is used with the logic models? So that's all for today's session. Thank you so much everyone for listening me. Again, I'm repeating, any doubts, any confusion, that you can ask the doubts from me. So bye bye everyone. We'll meet tomorrow with a new topic, that is evaluation questions, or what are the various evaluation questions that is used with the logic model, that is used with gaining the understanding or getting the knowledge more and more. All right. So bye bye everyone. Yeah, one thing more that I'm going to I'm including in this one, that is what are the various logic model that is included in the logic, that is including in the output, that is including in the outcomes. We can say the participations, we can say the usefulness, that includes with the increased knowledge, that increase with the outcomes, with the impact that is going to study, or that is used with the logic model as a tool for the program development and the evaluation. What is the program development, evaluation? One more thing that I want to add is, the logic model illustrates or defines a relationship. What is the relationship between the people? What is the relationship between the various individual? that carried out the task, that carried out the activities, but what we are going to do, we are going to study with the logic model, what we are going to study with the initial solution, identify priorities, accomplish the output, what is the output that is carried out with the activities that carried out with this one, as well as the audience, what are the various audience that participate in these activities, and the short term, medium term, long term, and the outcome impact. What is the outcome impact? That is used with the logic model that helps to guide the program planning, implementation, and the evaluation. What are the program implementation criteria? That is used with this, that is used with defining the tool, or it can also serve as a tool for clarifying the program elements, identifying the evaluation questions and indicators, and also conducting the ongoing self-evaluation. Ongoing self-evaluation in the sense, what are the various ways by which we can evaluate the things, by which we can identify the things for the evaluation for the logic models, evaluation question and the indicators. This is only the diagram that shows what are the various logic questions, what are the various logic model, what are the various evaluation questions, what are the various ways by which we can evaluate the things, what are the various indicator that is used with this one, that is used with the evaluation question, that is used with the indicator. So first is the input, then output, then outcome impact or outcome impact, that is used with the defining the data, that is used with the logic model. So first is the staff, then money, then time, materials, partners, research. These are the various inputs that is going to use, that is going to access with this material. Yes, this is very right that uh, this is very right that how we are going to use the inputs, what are the staff members, what are the money, time, material, partners, research, what are the various outcomes. So now I'm saying that if there is any doubts, you can ask the doubts from me because I'm going to finish this class over here only. So any doubts, anyone over here regarding the input, regarding the outcome,